We're in fact out at Bardstown Broubon Company. You can act like you're not impressed, but we all know you are. Right?
Yep, I am. It's awesome.
I'm super impressed.
This is super cool.
Looks great. Very cool
I love
vibes.
the vibe here.
Oh, yeah. I love the glass
wall.
This cool spot to play games and hang out. Act like you're doing some things. Stuff like that. Very, very cool. Oh, look at that vibe out there. Ooh. Take some tours here. That's what we're here for. We're gonna go do some whiskey thieving out of the Rickhouse, right from the barrel. So hopefully we can take you along.
We're gonna try.
We're doing it. We're going to the Rickhouse.
Here we go.
Try to stop us.
My name is Macy. Like I said a little bit ago, I like to say that my name is similar to the store or to the parade. It's a little easier to remember that way. If you guys have any questions throughout this experience, I mean, that's what I'm here for. Kind of want to give y'all some guidance throughout. Have you all been to other distilleries already? So y'all are more or less familiar with how bourbon's made, all that good stuff. You've probably been on distillery tours. You've seen 3 different barrels. It's going to be uncut. It's going to be unfiltered. You might feel that way after a couple of them, and that's okay too, right? Feel free to open up, ask questions, take pictures, take video. It's all for you guys to enjoy. Now, where are you two coming from?
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Okay, so you're not too far from home, I guess. What about 6 hours?
Yeah.
I bet it wasn't. Did you drive? Yeah. Oh man. What about you guys? Where are you coming from?
Minnesota.
Okay, so that's a haul too, right?
Especially if you start adding in time changes.
Oh my gosh, you guys are right. You all are in business.
Yeah, I know.
We have to go into the glass front.
Rickhouse.
Rosenberg.
I'm excited. I'm excited to taste straight from the barrel.
They have a couple different kinds of Rickhouses here. They have the tiered variety over there, and then modern variety right over here. No chimney ones though. I don't see any chimneys.
Chimney ones? Which
Yeah.
ones are those?
Remember we learned about the 4 different types of
yeah.
Rickhouses over at Heaven Hill.
Yes, yes. Have we seen one at anything we've been to yet? Because like, what was
I think Heaven Hill had
Holiday?
theirs was more modern.
Okay. Very cool.
That's where we're heading, right there. That big, beautiful glass front Rickhouse.
They're going to range between like 22,000 barrels all the way up to 58,000 barrels and see change. We only got started back in 2016, so we've been making whiskey for about 8 years, but we're already one of the top 10 in whiskey production here in the U.S. Through our distillery that was built in 2016, we started off making around 1.5 million gallons a year of whiskey, which sounds like a whole lot. It's really been our last expansion. So right now we're doing around about 11 million. I'd say by the end of next year, where everything's in full circle, we should be at about 13 million gallons per year out of our distillery.
Ready to taste some bourbon straight from the barrel?
Straight from the rare barrel.
Someday, babe. Someday.
On Sunday. That's in 3 days. We're gonna have a rare barrel. Just kidding.
Someday.
Yep.
Yeah.
That building there is also cool. Where the columns are.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
you're good. The columns and the whatchamacallits? Fermentation.
Oh, yes, yes.
Are all over there.
Careful.
In that area.
I think it's really interesting what she was saying about how they built these hills in to help prevent fires and kind of learning from the past, which we just learned about at Heaven Hill, which is kind of cool. And then to hear how they helped them out so much. I loved that. And then
Bardstown wasn't here when that happened, but all the other
distilleries, yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, I love
Now
it.
coming in here, all of our Rickhouses are non-climate controlled. I think it feels pretty darn good in here though. The cooler it gets outside, of course the cooler it's going to get in here. And we're starting to drop temperature a little bit. So in the cold of winter, I mean, we have been in the negatives in here. We do tours year round. In the heat of summer, over 100 degrees in here, which is crazy to think about because right now it just feels kind of temperate. It feels pretty nice. In the summertime, it's incredibly humid in here. And in the winter, it kind of dries out.
Smells
so
great.
that really helps to make some good bourbon. In the summertime, these barrels, they're made of white oak, and white oak tends to be very porous as a wood. So it's going to soak up all that bourbon in the summertime and kind of expand out. In the winter, it's going to get so cold that it pushes itself right back in. So that constant push and pull over your seasons really makes your bourbon the way that it is. And that's why we leave ours non-climate controlled. I mean, here in the state of Kentucky, sometimes we see, negative temperatures, and then in the summertime we get up into the, hundreds with humidity, and sometimes that heat index is up to about 115. So I mean, that's a lot of fluctuation, but we love to see it. That's why about 95% of all bourbons made here in Kentucky, just because we have the right climate for it, right? And even with a bit of this climate change that's been happening, we've noticed good things about it. So I guess you can't complain too much overall. But this is Rickhouse K. This is one that we built back in 2021, so this one's about 3 years old now. This Rickhouse in particular is one of our mid-size. So this one holds around 30,000 barrels. Small ones capsize around 22,000 barrels, mid-size around 30 to 32, and then our largest ones hold the government max capacity, which is 58,800. A whiskey thief is pretty much like a straw. It's made of copper. So copper in distillation kind of purifies product. So as much as I touch this, it's not going to affect what's inside of that barrel. And once it dries up on the outside, I can use it for any of these barrels without any intermingling of flavors. So nothing's going to taste the same as what I got before. But just like a straw in your drink, you're going to dip it down into your cup or into the barrel. I'm going to let it fill up a little bit, and then I'm going to start serving out some good stuff. So this first barrel is going to be a wheated bourbon. I like to say that wheat is sweet, but she brings the heat. All right? Remember that as you're taking your first sip. Are you ready?
Ready.
Hit it.
All right. Beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
It does, absolutely.
Smells incredible.
Yeah, but it just looks a little too foul to do that.
Straight from
I'm gonna be
the
completely
barrel,
honest with
literally.
you.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is a weeded.
We've had a lot of people ask, and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I gotta do the
We get some
Kentucky
long
chew,
pulls.
like the one guy said.
Oh. So let me tell you, on 3:30 on a Saturday, this is the craziest
Sign me up.
period. The craziest experience in the world. 3:30 on a Saturday, so come back.
Wow,
Okay?
that's beautiful.
Oh my
Caramel,
gosh. People get so
powdered
loud.
sugar,
It's so
toasty.
I love my more
Marshmallow.
intimate groups. I love my bigger groups. So this is going to be 68% corn. It's going to be 20% wheat, 12% malted barley. Now, if you've had our products before, this would, in essence, be our Origin Series bottled and bond wheated bourbon. It has a black label on it. Based on tradition. Yeah,
Very cool.
good insight on that. I like that. I'm happy to share.
Now we're talking
Now,
the regular rye bourbon here.
I'm excited for this one. Cheers.
Most of the time, it's a rye bourbon.
Almost like Coca-Cola.
I was just gonna say like Dr. Peppery. I
So
love
this
that
one's
rye.
also going to be, I think
Wow.
all three of these are a level 3 char, so about a 40-second burn on the inside. But this is going to be a rye bourbon. I like to say
Love that.
that
That's
rye
nice.
is rye, but she ain't shy. And what I mean by that is, it
Rye's
should
dry,
be pretty
but she ain't
potent
shy.
on the front of the palate, but it should kind of dry out and ease up on the back end instead. So it's going to be kind of an opposite of the wheated bourbon, where it kind of softens on the front, but warms you up on the back end. See, I love a rye bourbon.
Yeah, I do too.
That's really what I enjoy more than anything. In my cocktails, neat, on ice cube. This would be similar to our
That's good.
Origin Series white label bourbon.
You can taste that they're a little bit young at the very end. I can on the finish, but oh my gosh.
This one's butterscotch.
I
all
can't
day
wait
long.
till these are done.
All day long.
I can't wait till they sell them in my town,
Where are you guys from again?
Oklahoma.
Okay.
We just started getting them in Minnesota, like
Yeah.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm working on it, okay?
wow.
We're on the hunt for a specific one, but it's so weird. Like black
Yeah?
licorice, maybe?
So I always get like a mint sort of
Mhm.
flavor
They're
profile.
not- I like these three. They're not, the smell It's
Yeah,
very
on the
sweet,
nose.
so it makes it easier to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the nose on this, I could smell this all day long. It smells
Yeah.
amazing. I get like straight up vanilla bean out of it. I do get a little bit of a spearmint note though.
Spear.
Yep.
Well,
Single barrel?
Well, it's
This is
all
obviously
single
a single
barrel.
barrel.
It's obviously single barrel.
well, that's kind of going to be your first hint, is that this is not a bourbon. This is
Yeah.
a whiskey.
Oh.
So this is
Mm.
going to be less than 51% clear. Again,
Oh,
we make
whiskey.
bourbons and whiskey.
If you will.
here.
A whiskey, if you
That's
will.
a,
Malt.
that's what you have to.
I think
A
That's
whiskey.
malt.